Hello? It says it's working there, but I don't know. Well, I didn't think that one through again. Hopefully it's working, but I'll check on my phone real quick because I'm home by myself. And I want to make sure before I go any further. I'm already 5 minutes late, if you can hear me. We'll find out right now. All right, you can hear me. Sorry about that. Hi, my name is Angela Fagg with Messengers of Truth. Today is... Good question. Today's the 20th. I think I would have known that since yesterday was the 19th. Whatever. Sorry for being a few minutes late. I might discontinue the bangs. So today it is 11:06. You can see it there. Boom. White balance is a little bit off on the video because we didn't think about the window having all the light that comes through it during the day. But anyways, we're still going to keep on moving and trying to do this. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope everything is grandioso. It is Wednesday. Half of the week's already done, so we don't have to go through that. There's a lot of things that have been going on in just the world in general. So my video yesterday, I didn't talk about those things because sometimes I'm just not supposed to. But today I'm going to talk about, let me see. I don't know which video. Oh, there we go. Today I'm going to talk about ticks, AI data centers, and a little DMT. So first, what I'll do is I will show you, since I put it in that order in the title, which I was having a hard time with. Anyways, it doesn't matter, does it? So what I'm going to hope is that I can get this to play properly because I am home by myself, but I'm going to try. And that one, okay. So it should play when I push it over. It's not as easy as people think. You know, you say you want to be able to control it all, but sometimes it's better if someone else does it because they can also look stuff up for you while you're talking. So this one is about the ticks that are being dropped. There are several different people that have not only reported on this, but it's important. Like, I was going to go camping by myself out in the Ocala National Forest because there's a lot of springs around there and it's really nice. But I'm not going, excuse me, I'm not going to go camping now because just kind of freaks me out a little bit. I don't like those things. So here we go. We're going to see if this works. Hopefully it sounds good.
Across the heartland of America, farmers are stumbling upon mysterious boxes of ticks scattered in their fields.
There are ticks everywhere. In 30 years, 20-some years of having horses, I've never had to deal with these many ticks.
While reports flood in of unnatural surges in tick populations dropping like a biblical plague from the skies.
Weird stuff.
There it is right there. The tick box. I'm not going to touch it because there's ticks all over that thing. I know there is. Look at them crawling out of it. Millions of them. You can see the ticks.
And even boa constrictors in Florida that are invasive, they're now suddenly getting eaten and dying off because there's so many ticks all over them. I mean, this is just out of control.
As tick-borne illnesses explode nationwide, Lyme disease cases have skyrocketed, with ER visits for bites hitting multi-year highs this spring.
Look at my face and my neck. I can't eat red meat anymore. I can't have any animal byproducts in anything. And it's in everything. This is alpha-gal syndrome.
A 47-year-old New Jersey man ate a burger in 2024 and died 4 hours later. 2 weeks earlier, he got sick after eating a steak. It's called alpha-gal syndrome. It usually starts with a bite from a Lone Star tick that sensitizes a person's immune system to a sugar molecule found in the meat of mammals called alpha-gal. Reactions can include hives, nausea, and life-threatening anaphylaxis.
Yet just as the panic builds, pharmaceutical giants are fast-tracking a new Lyme disease vaccine, poised for rollout amid the chaos.
Stephen Rich is a professor of microbiology at UMass Amherst. He has studied ticks for decades. He is watching as Pfizer is now seeking approval on a Lyme disease vaccine.
What they found was that it was about 73% efficacious, meaning that it worked about 73% of the time.
Vaccine went to market in the late 90s, but failed.
For one reason or another, the company, arguably they said because of sales, took it off the market.
The demand now is high, but Rich and his researchers fear the public may see a vaccine as a tick cure-all.
If you got rid of Lyme disease, you won't get rid of ticks.
If approved, this vaccine could be a 4-dose vaccination series, 3 injections in 1 year and a booster at year 2.
So, I mean, if this vaccine is approved, it would be a game changer in the fight against Lyme disease.
And it's nothing new. From Cold War tick experiments to Plum Island labs, bioweapons research has turned insects into silent vectors for years.
Did we actually use ticks as bioweapons?
Yes, it's actually in CIA documents that have been declassified. For instance, infected ticks were deployed from C-130s flying low over sugarcane fields in Cuba back in the day under President Kennedy. There is abundant evidence of the testing, field testing, of infected ticks and other insects in a variety of settings. In the United States and elsewhere, clearly USAMRIID was involved, and in particular the Plum Island facility that had been a biowarfare investigative facility up in Manhattan, Long Island region, and then was transferred over to USDA, was involved in a lot of this research.
Possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
We've seen this playbook before, and only too recently. Create or amplify the crisis, suppress natural treatments and honest debate, then roll out the profitable fix. Declassified documents on military insect releases and ongoing congressional probes into Lyme's bioweapon origins only deepen the suspicion. The government parasites are literally sucking the blood from its own people. John Bowne reporting for the Alex Jones Network.
I want to thank the viewers and listeners for keeping us on the air the last 32 years.
Okay, so that's what we got there. I mean, what else are they going to do? Seriously, what else are they going to do? We don't really know. We really don't know. They already, a long time ago, I made a video about them making celebrity meat. The reason why I did it is because I saw it, and this girl I knew, she wouldn't believe me. So I I dug deeper, and I showed all this stuff, and I did a video just for her so she would believe me, because it wasn't no joke. They were already, my point was, they were already doing stuff like that. And how much further has it gone? What kind, excuse me, what kind of DNA are we getting? And how long has it already been going on? Because once they say something, that means it's already been happening for a while. So how many times have we eaten dead cells from another human? I'm just saying, on the whole food part, because that's where they want you to go anyways. But now they want you to be completely allergic to everything. They don't want cows to be, farting. They don't want their poop to be everywhere, even though that's how the earth keeps growing, is how the animals move across it, and their poop and all this other stuff. It's kind of a ridiculous situation, you know what I'm saying? So now we have to think about everything having ticks on it. And I believe we didn't take a picture of it, but I probably should have. The last time I was at Kershan National Park, and I showed you the pictures of the turtles and everything, I did see a little box, but I thought it was like maybe they were trying to catch rats or something, you know. So I would tell you that I would go back there, but I have some fears with that I have to work over, because I do not like bugs like that. I mean, like, on the for real, I don't like snakes either, but I will chop a snake if it's coming in my yard or something. But a tick, what if it's like it's somewhere and then I don't know it's there, and then like it would be horrible, dude. And then I can't have hot dogs anymore, or a cheeseburger. I love cheeseburgers and pizza. All that has beef on it. It's a horrible situation. Okay, so now the next video is about AI in the data centers. I don't know how long it is, but I'm probably not going to play the whole thing. And not only that, down in the descriptions, you will find links to the videos that I play. Okay? So always remember that.
There is a fear in your generation that the future has already been written, that the machines are coming, that the jobs are evaporating, that the climate is breaking, that politics is fractured, and that you are inheriting a mess that you did not create. The question is not whether AI will shape the world. It will. The question is whether you will help shape artificial intelligence. We do not know. We do not know the precise contours of what this transformation will look like. But what we do know is it will require each of us to adapt in ways that we cannot yet anticipate.
The rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution. I struck a chord.
Data centers are devouring American homes in a brazen land grab fueled by the technocracy's AI boom, and everyday families are paying the ultimate price.
Imagine you work for a $2 billion company and you roll up to work one morning and you find out that your 401k contribution will no longer be matched by the company because they are interested in putting that measly amount for their employees, that little itty bit for a $2 billion company, into AI research, AI processes in the name of efficiency. And then you read what your company's spokespeople say and they go, this is actually a positive signal in the labor market. This is good. This is an investment back in our people for their long-term future.
Across the United States, utility giants and big tech allies are wielding eminent domain like a club, bulldozing generational properties under the guise of progress and energy needs. Sold as innovation, now revealing itself as a ruthless corporate takeover, where your backyard, your farm, or your childhood home becomes collateral damage for server farms that guzzle power like there's no tomorrow. This assault is hitting hard in states like Georgia, where Georgia Power is targeting families in Coweta County to clear paths for massive transmission lines supporting a $17 billion data center project in neighboring Fayette County.
Although nobody in this town wants a damn data center, our commissioners still approved it. So therefore, Georgia Power is using easement rights to force homeowners, longtime homeowners, old homeowners, into selling their family properties and their family homes so they can be torn down and power lines be extended to support these data centers.
Similar nightmares are unfolding in Pennsylvania, where rural families like Brenda Rizzo's 101-acre farm stare down 240-foot towers for AI data centers. Nationwide, the scale is staggering. Nearly 3,000 new data centers under construction or proposed, piling onto thousands already operating, with rural America bearing the brunt.
Construction is either in final planning or even in progress in a ton of not-so-remote areas. Forget the ones that are already built already. There's thousands of them all over the country, but you have Phoenix, Arizona, Atlanta, Georgia. Actually, that's becoming like one of the biggest major hubs with dozens more planned. Columbus, Ohio, Reno, Nevada, Quincy, Washington, El Paso, Texas, Santa Teresa, New Mexico, Imperial County, California, Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, Kansas City, Missouri, and one of the biggest ones, Salt Lake City. They want to build one there that is twice the size of Manhattan. Now, despite residents vehemently opposing this, like they went to the town hall meeting and they were like, no, everybody was like, no. Somehow, it was unanimously approved by the Box Elder County Commission.
For hell's sake, grow up.
These hyperscale behemoths demand insane portions of electricity and land. Wake up, America. Your deed means nothing when the New World Order grid demands it. John Bowne reporting for the Alex Jones Network.
I want to thank the viewers and listeners for keeping us on air the last 32 years. You get all the credit. The word of mouth, the prayer, the support of us at thealexjonestore.com. Now, InfoWars has been shut down.
So, that's happening. I told you they were coming for everybody's property. But anyways, I'm not going to do that. I told you so. They're coming for everybody's property. Everybody in the United States of America and or territories of America. That includes Puerto Rico and Hawaii. Right? No, wait, Hawaii is a state. I'm sorry, misspoke. They're coming for all of them. They don't need us anymore. They don't need us anymore. They have robots to do that. So then I ask, where's Sarah Connors? All those people, I believe that was UCF, University of Central Florida. My mom went there. The emblem on the podium looked like it was UCF, which is a very big engineer, computing, all that type of stuff school. That's why my mom went there. Sorry, my nose itches. And Research Park is right next to it. And Research Park is a park, sorry, a park that does research. My mom also worked in Research Park at a job called Actran. I don't know what Actran is now. It turned into some other company. But all through there, there's even buildings that have like armed guards, like, you know, with guns and shit. We used to ride our bike all through there because of where I lived at. I lived in Bonneville. And a matter of fact, that property of UCF, a lot of it was bought from the Percival's, which I knew them. I do not know them anymore. But they say, I only went to Bonneville a few weeks back, and I just drove around. I didn't go over by UCF or anything like that, just to give you a detail of how long I was there for. It was my whole life anyways. Alafaya Trail was only 2 lanes when we first moved there. There was no east-west expressway that came out to East Orlando. I remember when they built it, my mom actually helped with some of the engineering for the lights and stuff in downtown Orlando before she started working at Publix, because, like I've said in other videos, she made a choice over her kids were more important than whatever her job was going to be. It's not my pay grade, so I'm not made to understand. That's just the way it is, because that's the way my mom was. If it wasn't in your pay, that's what she would say. It's not on your level. It's none of your business, type deal. So I also have some videos of people talking about their experience with the DMT. I've never done it. I told you, and I'm going to reiterate, I had a dream a few years back where I was in this room in a castle, which is, it's just weird. It was like a castle because it was like medieval times, you know what I'm saying? Like real old castles and stuff. And it was just a skinny window like this in there. I didn't give you this much detail, but I will now. And I was looking out it and stuff, and these dudes came, these big dudes, and they were like, you got to come with us. And they snatched me up, and they were dragging me because I wasn't going to go, because I'm going to play dead. That's how I'm going to do them. They're going to have to carry my ass. And they did. They dragged me down there, and there was these 3 people, creatures sitting on these 3 they were like kings and queens chairs, but there was 3 of them, and they were sitting there, and they were saying something to me that I had to say that this wasn't God's kingdom or something like that. And I just started yelling at him, this is the kingdom of God. And I was screaming it, you know what I'm saying? Like I was screaming it. And then when it kind of looked like it drew back, you know what I'm saying? And I could see the 2 guys holding me, and I was like a glowing angel. I was like, what? Anyways, because dreams can do that to you. You could see all kinds of things. So I was like, what is that, And I heard about the DMT and how they go on these trips, and then they go and talk to these people. And I correlated it together as in, well, I didn't have to take anything. I went there and they trapped me. Because what they did is after that, they took me back and put me in that room that I was in. Okay? And the reason why I was so fascinated that I seen somebody say that the DMT world, like these people were creatures over the years have started kicking people out and stuff. Well, a few weeks ago, while I was sitting, it was a Friday night, I was in my living room watching TV by myself, sitting in my camper chair because it's more comfortable anyways than my couch, because that's how I feel about it. And I was sitting there, and all of a sudden it was like you know how you imagine a power plant shutting down? Because when you go through hurricanes and they shut everything down, it gets super quiet, quieter than you've ever heard it before, because there's no power. You'd be surprised how much power actually makes noise. Well, it was like that. It was like a shutdown of a power. And then all of a sudden I look over like this, and sitting on my couch, someone was sitting there. And you see, I don't want to boast about things or think that I'm not more special than anyone else. So I believe that it was Jesus that sat down there and he watched TV with me, which absolutely sounds crazy. And it almost makes me want to cry right now, because I don't like sharing things like that, because I'm no better than anybody else. And I never have been. And that moment, and then not even a few days later, I see a video, and I don't even know where his parents and him and his brother, they used to do a show on either History Channel or something like that. And so I listened to it, and I don't even know which one it is up here. And he said that he heard also that the DMT world had been shutting people out of it. And I felt that interesting because of what I heard a few Fridays ago. I believe it was on the full moon. So, and I don't partake in that. And that's why it was so, because I just want to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally want to know what's going on. I'm not the type of person who just wants to make things up and make my own mind up and say, well, that's just the way it is. It's not that way with me. I want people to talk to me and tell me if I'm wrong or explain to me what in the hell I'm seeing. I didn't want to do this. Because it could freak you out, man. It's never been this intense before. And I used to be able to call my mom and talk to her, but I don't have my mom to talk to right now, so I do it live with the hopes that maybe somebody somewhere out there, or I'll find a video that'll explain to me what the fuck is going on. On that note, we'll find out what video this one is.
Did you know that you can get banned from DMT?
Really?
Dude, you got to look this up. There are thousands of people out there who are using DMT recreationally, and the beings up there basically told them, you are done and you're banned from DMT, and the journey stops right there in that moment, and the guy can take hit after hit after hit after hit of DMT and nothing happens. You can be banned from that realm or whatever it is.
People started smoking DMT.
I think they call it hyperspace now.
Being locked out of the DMT.
In the culture surrounding DMT, there is a widely reported phenomenon called being locked out of hyperspace. Many frequent users report reaching a point where the drug simply stops working as expected regardless of the dose.
Like, get out. You're no longer.
The common descriptions include the waiting room wall, getting stuck in the initial onset phase and being unable to break through. The grey room, seeing only flat colorless or dull visuals instead of the visual vibrant geometry. The hyperslap, a terrifying or deeply uncomfortable experience where entities appear to tell you that you aren't welcome or shouldn't be here anymore. The sudden blackout, smoking the substance and simply falling asleep or remembering nothing, effectively being denied entry.
That everyone sees, and it's like, that's not a coincidence.
You get invited to the DMT realm, be cool about it.
Here we go.
You see, I'm never going to be on those drugs to ever do them. So, there's several other videos down in the description that you can watch yourself and make your own opinion up. Think of whatever you want to think. You know, because people are going to do that anyways. They're going to think whatever they want to think. You know, a lot of times when I'm talking, I'm processing things live right here. Things pop up in my head that I have to process and then say or not say. So when I freaked out a couple videos ago about men and about the things that has happened to me, which I didn't, I just gave instances. It's because at that present time, right then and there, I was being told about these men coming together and that I have to work with them, and I don't even understand it. That's the truth. There's a lot of things in this world that I don't understand. I don't understand why half of this shit's even going on. And through the years, I've had to make these videos and explain it and say things that I didn't understand, and then go back and watch myself, because that's how I'm learning right now. I thought all last night and all today, like, how am I going to say things and not look, you know, like I'm losing my shit, because I'm not. When I get frustrated, tears start to come down my face. I can't stop it. And I'm generally frustrated a lot of times because I want it. I want there to be real justice. The men and women that have hurt not just the people in my country, not just the people in my country, but the people across the world. I've given you stories that are the truth. And my experience going through it, because that's what I'm supposed to do. And it sucks. But I'm not going to stop, because I almost didn't even do this today. Because of this reason right here. I can't make my eyes not water, and it's very dehydrating. I'm not hurt. I'm not upset. I may be a little bit mad, but at this point in life, and the way that everything is going on, and I'm not weak, and how every single day it's something new. Oh, we're moving all our nukes over here, and we're going to do this, and this country's going to do this, and it's all these rich billionaire people that we're just peasants to, that are making choices for people all over the world, not just here in America. And the reason why I say Florida's going to be the one to set the precedent. Florida is going to be the one that it's going to stop. They are dragging people through the dirt right now just because they want their candidate, because we have to follow what Daddy Trump tells us to do. Well, he ain't my daddy, and I don't have to follow a damn thing that I don't like. I can be different, and you can be different than everybody else in the world. That is why we are so different. That is why we look so different. We're not supposed to be the same. We're supposed to come at life with many different ideas in creation. Have you not driven around these neighborhoods and how everything looks the same? Has nobody else noticed that everything's being painted brown and gray and drab and dark, horrible colors? I live in Florida. Most things are bright, because in tourist areas, and we're tropical, they want things to be bright and loving and, inviting. All of our buildings downtown Fort Myers are turning black and gray and off-white, and just, it's horrible. They don't want you to paint murals on things that are absolutely beautiful, because artists are beautiful. Real artists are beautiful. They paint things that are gorgeous, but we're being stuck with ugly things. And how long? And I know it's going to be a little bit longer, but it still doesn't negate the fact that it hurts and it sucks. But my life isn't a game to me. I'm not playing no games right now. Did I play games in my past? Yeah. But how long do I have to live there? Or don't? And I'll say the same thing I used to say back then. Because people would tell me stories about myself that weren't true. And they'd say, well, Angela, aren't you going to do something about it? I'm like, no, let them talk. You know why? Because they're going to do it anyways. It doesn't matter. Does some of the words suck and they hurt and all this? Yeah, they do. Because there's people out there all the time that it's happening. You have people that are doing absolutely stupid, ridiculous shit. And my thought process on it right now is maybe they should turn the internet off. Maybe get these kids back out there, and some of these young ladies and these young boys, they wouldn't be doing the stuff they do because they'd get punched in the face for it if you were right around somebody. And I'm not saying that people need to fight each other, but My generation growing up, them boys fought each other all the time. Some of the girls fought each other, but they weren't friends afterwards, but them boys did. This kid was fighting all the time. He had heart, and everybody loved him for it. And they would fight. We had the little field over there. They would fight, and it would be done, and that was it of that situation. It was done, squashed, over with. Now you got all these kids that are stuck in these rooms playing their video games, talking smack, playing Grand Theft Auto. You wonder why things are getting shot up? Have you seen the game Grand Theft Auto? There's raping, there's pillaging, there's everything is in it. But just give them to your children. You want to know why they shoot up things? Because in the game, in Call of Duty, they can just shoot whatever they want to shoot with no consequences. But you think that that's not messing with their psyche, and it actually is. A child should not have a cell phone. That's the end of it. They shouldn't. They can't. The communication levels have gone down. If the child cannot communicate properly and you allow them to be on the internet and everything, how do you think they're going to communicate later on in life with other people? And then you say, well, Angela, you don't have any children. I'm going by what I see and how I was raised. You know, one time I got in trouble, stuck up for this girl who everybody told me not to stick up for, but I stuck up for her anyways because, you know, things happen. Well, she ended up narking me out about my tattoo I had on my leg, and because I had it very young, I was like 13. Well, I was on mushrooms that day, and my mom came up to where we were. She didn't know I was on mushrooms, but my sister Carrie, one of the girls my mom adopted, she's much older than me, and she says, Angela, what you want? What are you on? And I told her, and she's like, you are in so much trouble right now. I went home, and my mom took everything from me. All of my clothes, she took the flip-flops off of my feet and gave me sneakers that I would never wear. I hated those sneakers, and she knew it, but she took everything from me. Everything. And the clothes that she left were the clothes you didn't wear that were only for, like, you know, going to grandma's or where you had to be dressed up or whatever. And that's what she did. She put all of my stuff in her car, and every single day she took that TV with her, carried it down the steps. Now, people don't know, but TVs were big back then, and they were heavy. But that lady, she carried it with her into that car and put it in her car and brought it with her to work every day. She only left the phone just in case there was an emergency. And most people out there are going to be like, geez, are you for real, Angela? Yeah. Because there's consequences to your actions, and that's what she was teaching me. I had done some things that I shouldn't have done, and she had to give me consequences that were going to affect me. And whooping my ass at that time was not gonna work. So she took everything from me. When you look at my criminal background and you look at charges that have been dropped on me but nobody looks at the charges that I dropped on other people. The first thing most people want to do when they see somebody that has been getting in trouble since they were a teenager, they say, well, it's the parents' fault. Well, in this literal case, it was not the fault of my mother. She did everything she could. Further down the line, after taking all my stuff, she eventually gave it back to me. But then I was still being bad and doing other things, and nobody would help her because the cops, I never got, at this particular point in time, I had not been in trouble with the law before. I was always skirting right underneath everything. Nobody could, nothing. They couldn't pin the finger right on me. So her bright idea was she called DCF, okay? Department of Family and Children. Usually, it's not the parent calling it on the child. It's usually another family calling it on the family because the parent's abusive, right? Well, my mom was trying to do anything and everything she could
You is kind, you is smart, you is important. You is smart, you is kind, you is important. Oh, that's so good.